Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how I built this steampunk inspired pirate ship. Now what I used to build it for a base was this, the Renegade 3. And I decided to kind of keep the trident shape to it, but maybe give it a little more steampunk industrial kind of look, and this is what I came up with. So let's look at the stats here real quick. 1600 shields, 3300 cargo, 6 crew, 30 light year jump range, 85 mobility, but it still moves really good, and a top speed of 150, which of course with perks can be more. Has an impressive weapons all up front docker, and there's only 3 halves. Now if you didn't mind the crew dropping down to 2, you could put a science lab over here, but right now all it has is an all-in-one berth workshop and then the control station to get the crew to 6. Alright, I'm gonna get it torn apart and get into the actual build part. Okay, I've got it all broken apart. I've got the wing sections pulled off to the side. They're basically the same, but we'll cover those last. And we've got the ground floor, base level, middle floor, and top trim and cockpit pieces. So we'll start at the bottom, as always. Up front, the Hope 4 landing bay. On either side we've got the weapon mount and 2 of the Vanguard Obliterator auto projectors. Immediately behind that we got the AccuLander 11, 1 of the Galleon S204s, another AccuLander, tile side caps on either side, the SF-40 sheared flow reactor at the back with 2 Hope 55 landing gears. And that's basically it for the bottom floor, because with this landing bay you go straight up. Moving up, we have the front docker, a Hope Tech 1x1 storeroom attached to that, weapon mount each side, and 4 of the Vanguard Hellfire autocannons. Immediately behind the 1x1 we've got the all-in-one berth, the other S204 cargo, again with 2 more Taio side caps. Shield sits up there, and we've got the beta grab drive immediately behind that. I think that won't I think this will snap on with the exception of these weapons. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. These weapons have to be glitched into place here. Or no, they don't. I'm not sure why that didn't sit before. There we go. And then the cockpit right there on top. Alright, top trim pieces. Nova cowling, Deimos spine A, Deimos cowling. We got a Hope Tech storeroom. It doesn't connect to anything, it just sits there to provide looks. So you could use anything back there. It just, to me, looks better than a Nova bracer. We've got the spine E up top, another Deimos cowling in the back, And we've got 2 of these HE3 tanks. Give it a nice rounded look. That fits in there. So pretty much all of this stuff fits without glitches, except for this piece, of course. You'll have to flip and release. And there's that. Okay, moving on to the wings. So like I said, they're basically the same. Let me pull it apart here so make it a little easier to explain. Don't really need that on there. So how it connects, how these halves connect, is the very back of this all-in-one berth. We've got this Hope Tech hab cross brace there, and we've got the Deimos braking engine. We've got our workshop. We've got our 4330 engine. And up top, we've got the Deimos Spine A, the radiator, and the Spine E, and another Vanguard obliterator. That's the top half of it. Bottom half of the wing, Hope Tech bumper, 2 Acculander 11s, and the other 2 4330s. Also, I added a mount for a suppressor, just to have it if I wanted to capture ships. And the way this connects to the ship is Stroud engine brace, which goes right underneath the cross brace. That connects there. That just hops right on there. So I kind of gave the engines a little rounded look in the back there. This is the middle one. This is the bottom piece left, bottom piece right. And this section is completely identical, just reversed, obviously, for the engines. Only difference is that's the control station and that was the workshop. Connects just like so. I think gives it kind of a little steampunk look to it. Okay, so that concludes the build portion. Now we'll do a quick little walk around. Okay, through the magic of editing, we now have illumination. I just kind of did this as a fun build, and I really ended up liking and keeping the ship. Alright, let's get to the walk around. Come into the landing bay.
Always a satisfying moment to return to your ship.
And you come up in the front part of the 2x1, it's a not living quarters, all in one. Your bunk is at the back here. So like I said, you come up in the front section. At the back, this is the back of the ship. You've got your 2 crosswalks. One comes over here to the workshop. And the other to the crew stations. To the front, we have the 1x1 right here. That's your docker. And the only other thing on this ship cockpit. Really like this one. This is one of the cockpits that you can have crew members and they don't stand and talk to you. They sit in their chairs and stay quiet. Alright, let's take her up and get a speed test. Okay, if you were only here for the build section, that concludes the build. Next up, we're going to take off, do some speed testing and some combat. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Okay, on this build, you can have everything maxed. If you take everything out of the EM, you can have everything maxed and still have one left over for a grab drive. So as built with full perks, about 180. With a boost speed of about 716. Now I think the base speed of these engines with no perks is 150. Let's see if we can. Okay, there we go. So this is what the performance will be if you don't have perks. You get a 150 top speed with a boost speed of almost 600. So not bad. Alright, now we'll get into some combat, and you'll see that even though the mobility is sitting mid-80s, it still can turn thrusters pretty good. For a heavy ship. And I wanted to make sure this had adequate cargo, so you could actually do pirating with it. That's what I use it for. Okay, let's get into the combat.
The great serpent demands blood! Are you prepared to face judgment? You shall be judged! I don't need a grab drive to destroy you. Capsize down! We end this now! You have met your doom.